I thought we'd start this video in front of my book wall, or the beginnings of my book wall, yet this setup isn't as satisfying as I thought it would be. I need to remove this box here, or these boxes, and also having the radiator here isn't the best. I might get a radiator cover, which you can get and put like something nice like covering this look, or paint it, or put something over it, you know, just so the setup is a little bit nicer, because I love my table with all my books on. I need more books. This video is going to consist of me reading books bought for me by my boyfriend. So I've got the books here. So there's 5, including this one down here, which I've already started. So there's 5 books to choose from. I've picked the first one. So the first book we're reading is When in Rome. If you've watched one of my previous videos, I did film me discussing a little bit about this, because I've already got up to page 83. So I have read a little bit of this one, and I've started to add some little sticky tabs. So this is my pick. Out of the 5 books, I wanted to read 3 in this video. So the first one will be a book picked by me. The second book will be one, so the next 2 books I read out of these are going to be picked by Josh. I'm going to get him to pick one based on what the book looks like, so the cover he likes the most. And the second book I want him to choose will be based off of the plot. So I will let him know what each book is about, and he will tell me which of those books he wants me to read next. So out of the 5 books, we're reading 3 of them. So When in Rome I have already started, and I've even filmed a few clips of this book already. So this book started out with me being really unsure if I was going to cringe through it. It starts out really cheesy. It felt very like cheesy, a little bit cringe, a little bit Disney princess-ish. She is a pop star, so Amelia Rose, or she goes by Ray Rose as a pop star. She is driving away. She wants to find the nearest place called Rome. So she ends up traveling to Rome, Kentucky, where her car breaks down on Noah's property. Noah is our other protagonist in this book. So she breaks down on his property. She's very scared to get out the car, which is valid. She's very much afraid that this random man may be a murderer. Relatable, understandable. She breaks down. Eventually she gets out of the car and she stays in Noah's house, which when I first heard that, I kind of thought to myself, how do you end up staying in a stranger's house even if you've broken down? However, it makes sense if you pick up this book. So she's a pop star. She's had a lot of things done for her. She's very unaware of how to live day-to-day life. She's trying to escape the pressures that she's been put under. So she just wanted a little getaway before going on tour. So because her car's broken down, it has now gone in for repairs, and she has to wait in this small town for the repairs to be done. So it's a bit about her journey living day to day without all these people telling her what to do, what to eat, where to go. And Noah is very much unhappy about this. Noah doesn't want her there. He's not very keen to have her around. His previous relationship was with a city girl. She came into the town and things didn't end up going very well. He doesn't want the same thing to happen with Ray, although he's kind of presuming they would. It is very enjoyable now. I think I was up to page about 50 or 60, around that kind of page mark, where I started to really enjoy this a bit more. There were a few things that were a bit too cheesy, a bit like made me cringe. At the start, it read very much like fanfic. It was very much like, I don't know, like really difficult to stomach the first part, but I've gotten into this and I'm really enjoying it, and I've started to add some tabs, which I don't do that often. So I am enjoying this book, and this video will be about keeping you updated as I finish When in Rome, and this is by Sarah Adams. This is the first Sarah Adams book that I will be reading. She has released The Cheat Sheet, was her first book, then this one, and then she's released a third one, which is 2 characters from this story. So it's kind of like a follow along, but it's with Amelia's bodyguard and Noah's sister. So that's the next book in this series, which I do also really want to pick up. And then we've got some choices. We've got Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. We've got The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. We have got Heartbound by Colleen Hoover, and then It Starts With Us, also by Colleen Hoover. So Josh has got to choose from 2 Colleen Hoover books or 2 Christina Lauren books, and I'm not going to let you know what these are about until I film with him, because I'm going to let him know what these books are about, and then he is going to decide which cover he likes best. I will read the best cover after When in Rome, and then he's also going to pick which story he likes the sound of best as well, and that will be the 3rd book I pick up in this video. This shirt just looks so ginormous on me. Like it makes, like, it's huge. It actually like makes me feel a bit like a balloon. Oh, I just don't think this is the shirt to be filming in. It's really cool and light, and it feels so nice with how hot it is. So I have been reading, as you have seen, because I've been filming me reading. I've gotten to page 115 and it's chapter 14. I am really enjoying Amelia's chapters, and at the start of this I was only interested in reading Noah's chapters because hers were way too cheesy and way too cringe, but I'm really enjoying her perspective now. I'm really enjoying her point of view. I'm enjoying this book. I was going to say more than I thought I would, but I'm not sure. I'd seen it. Let me just see what Josh is saying. I had a feeling I would like this book because I'd watched a few booktubers talking about it, and that's what really made me want it. And they weren't even raving about it. It was just the fact that, like, it's a small town, it's a community where everyone knows each other. I love the small town vibes. I like it when it is a community that comes together. They all know each other, they all support each other. I really like those kind of cozy type of books. This book as well, all of the side characters are so well written. Like, I think side characters are difficult to get right because there's not that much characterization around them, with them only being a side character. However, I love everyone in this book. They're wonderful. And her relationship, so Amelia's relationship with her mum and her manager and how that's discussed, that's all really interesting to read about. Also, the point of views between Noah and Amelia and how they have really got a thing for each other. They're really feeling like the butterflies, flustered, the heat, the tension. However, how they act in front of each other is just like, for him, he just acts like he doesn't want her around at all. And that must be so off-putting for her. She's finding it difficult to kind of understand what he's thinking because he's so off with her, but then she hears from other people that he's not like this, so she's finding it difficult to understand what's going on with him, whereas he sees her as somebody that is just like a pop star princess getting her own way all the time, and he starts seeing a more fragile side of her, so he starts to try and soften himself a little bit, but it doesn't really come across towards her. This is what happens when I let Josh make dinner. We've got a garlic Kiev with a load of onion rings, like 3 chips and spaghetti hoops. It's a bit funny, but it's gonna be nice. He's on his way. It's been so warm. So I'm just having a little snack for lunch at the moment. So this Sprite, got a yog, some fruit, all refreshing. Kept this in the fridge. Just been filming like random clips of what I eat. I've covered this because I don't want Josh's pasta to go nasty while he's not home. But I've just made the biggest bowls of pasta ever. So we've got pasta salad. But I've just been filming like random bits of food and what I eat. I'm going to try and finish this evening. So I'm on page 192 and I think I am. Was that the right page? Yeah, so I'm going to try and finish this evening. Haven't got much left, and then tomorrow we will get Josh to pick my next book. I was going to give a little book update, but this isn't the most flattering angle. I'm just tired and feeling a bit meh. Like I can't I've got no energy, and I thought reading would really help me out. And I have been enjoying it, but I'm on page 208. So I've got less than 100 pages left of this book. Yeah, it's such a slow burn, and I don't know if I'm a big fan of the slow burn in books. Like, I'm enjoying what's happening. It is a good story. It is really cute. I love all of the characters. Like, they're so well done, so well written. Even all of the side characters, I love them. I love the way the story is going, but it's just absolutely nothing is happening between them. There's less than 100 pages left, and it's like they both got to the point where they really want each other, and it's quite obvious. But I'm quite surprised, because I have been loving this book, but I'm just feeling a bit like impatient now. I'm feeling a bit fed up with them, and I just want things to move along, and just, it's almost like you just want them to get a grip. I'm going to try and push through though, because it is a cute story, and like I said, I am loving the characters, and I love small town vibes. I love it when it's like a little town, a small community, things like that. I've read some other books like that, but not so much in the sense that this particular small town vibe is like all the characters, they all just like really back each other up, they really support each other. It's such like a family unit, and it's just really super sweet, and I love that. And part of me thinks that if I lived somewhere where I knew absolutely everyone, I don't know if that would annoy me. Like, I love it in books and I love it in stories, but I don't know if I could personally cope with something like that. So it's 10:15 on Saturday morning, and I did film a little update last night of me reading, or about to finish, When in Rome. So I went back because I just wasn't paying attention. So I have about 100 pages of this left, but I'm going to take a break because I thought I'd love this more than I am. Josh picked my next read, so he had to choose his favourite cover of the other 4 books he bought me. So we had Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. We had Soulmate Equation, also by Christina Lauren. And we had 2 Colleen Hoover books, It Starts With Us, and then the one he actually chose, because the cover's off, is Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. So I picked this up last night and I started reading it. I actually got to page 42, so I didn't read an awful lot, but I could really tell I needed a break from When in Rome, because I was really enjoying reading this book. So I didn't read the kind of premise of this book when I picked it up, and then after reading a little bit I thought, I do wonder what is going to happen with this. So I did kind of read the little blurb inside the cover, and to start with I thought, I hope this isn't too dark, because it starts with this young girl. She's 19 years old. She gets home from working a shift at McDonald's. I believe her and her mum live in this like trailer park. So she gets home from working that shift at McDonald's, and her mum is dead. She's OD'd and is led there dead in their home. So she has to call the police that her mum's died. Then she's left to organise where she's going to live, because straight away the landlord evicts her because her mum hasn't been paying the rent. So she's evicted, has nowhere to go. She calls her father, who now lives in Texas. She wasn't even aware that her dad had moved. She's not got a great relationship with her dad, so it's all happening right at the start of the book. Like I said, I'm only on page 42. So her mum's died. She's gone to stay with her dad temporarily because she has secured herself a place at college where she's got in through a volleyball scholarship. So she's arranged her future. She didn't even tell her parents this because she doesn't want anything to do with them. Gone to stay with her dad, finds out that her dad has actually remarried and has a stepdaughter. So she's about to meet this whole new family and world that her dad belongs to, and she's very nervous. She doesn't have any money, she has no belongings, she has pretty much got nothing left to her name. They're on a ferry on their way to his place when she sees this loaf of bread that someone has left because they were throwing it to the seagulls, and there's like half left, so she takes out a slice to eat because she's starving, she doesn't have any food, and a boy sees her do this. She thinks that he is taking photographs of her, so when they bump into each other, she takes his memory card out of the camera. However, he slips her money and is trying to be generous because he feels sorry for her. However, she thinks he's paying her for sexual favour as he does this right outside the bathroom. So this whole miscommunication, misunderstanding. She gets back into the car and is told that this boy's brother is her stepsister's boyfriend. So over the summer, we do find out by the inside that the boy that she's just met on the ferry will be her neighbours at her dad's new place. So I believe it may turn into kind of like a hate to love kind of romance. I don't know, but I'm very intrigued. I love Colleen Hoover's writing style so much that I'm really enjoying this, although there's some really sad topics and it is hard to read about people that do suffer, especially when their parents have neglected them so much. Like, it was really hard to read one part where she was a child and starving so much she ate banana peel and eggshells out of the bin because there was nothing else. Like, that made it even makes me want to be sick now. It really turns my stomach. Not very nice at all. There is also a part right at the beginning that I had to tab where it actually says in here, I've imagined this moment for a while now. Sometimes when you hate someone enough, you can't help but lie awake in bed at night wondering what life would be like if that person died. And that's when she's actually talking about her mother. But it did sit with me that it's kind of like, can you like hate someone that much that you'd imagine life like if they died? And I honestly believe pretty much anyone could. I think so anyway. So I've only made like a couple of tabs. You can see the little blue mark. So I'm not annotating this one only because Colleen Hoover's writing really sucks me in and I just have to read it. Just have to get through the whole book. If I reread a Colleen Hoover, I'd probably annotate it, but I'm just tabbing with the little sticky tabs anywhere where it really sticks out to me. So I'm just marking those, or if I want to discuss it in this video, but I'm not properly annotating this book. So I'm going to carry on reading this one today, see how we get on, because I think I really did need that break from When in Rome. I'm still going to get through all three in this video. If I go back to this and I really cannot be asked, then it might be a DNF, but let's hope not. I'd really like to finish all three books in this video. Let's hope so anyway. So I'll give you a further update later. I have been including some random things of what I eat in this video, and I don't know why. It's just sometimes I make some food and I'll just record this. Anywho, I have a busy-ish day, so whenever I read some more, this video will be updated. I haven't actually read any more yet, but I've got a coffee and look at this massive lunch I've made myself. I don't know why, I just find this kind of lunch amusing. Some pasta shells, cut up chicken nuggets or chicken nuggets, some sweet corn and cheese. It's very yummy though. How bad do my fingers look at the moment, like my nails? I've still got like blue paint that won't come off, the stained on some of them. And you can see they've grown up, they really need to be redone, but just gonna have to wait for now. It's an expensive hobby.
Drove straight into the morning, made it there by sunrise, watched the buildings glowing. No one ever told us you gotta work for all this fun. It's got its ups, it's got its downs. When you're
on this one, so I've actually got like 50 pages left, like just over 50 pages left of When in Rome, which is the first book I started in this video. But it's a book where the whole time they don't get together right until the end, and it's just like they both like each other, they're both making up excuses, and it's got to the point where you actually have to think to yourself, you're adults, you're like, you know, spending 2 weeks together, and each time they have a conversation about how they feel, it's like, let's discuss why we shouldn't do anything. And yet both in their heads, in their own chapters, they're like, I hate this, why are we doing this? And it's like, it got to the point, I think it was the last couple of chapters where I really got bored, and I just thought, I cannot cope anymore. I read one of the last pages that actually states that they get engaged at the end, and like, I don't feel like that's a spoiler, because I feel like at the end of a romance book they're gonna get together. I don't feel like that's a spoiler at all. And I did tab it a little bit, and I'm not necessarily tabbing it because I found certain bits really interesting or certain like quotes stuck with me. It's like, okay, so this part I highlighted, it was a great way to describe how Noah was acting. There's a bit I could relate to, so there are some slightly different reasons depending on the tab. Like this part just says don't like next to it, and it's because she started at the very beginning. This is on page like 26. Amelia was referring to him as Wilderness Ken, and that just gave me a bit of an ick. I didn't like that at all. So I don't know if I'm going to end up finishing this in this video. I wanted to give it like a 3, but it's not even that. I'd say this is like a 2.5 star, because for 90% of the book I was pretty much really enjoying it. It's just towards the end it was just too much of a slow burn, and like, I'm just not interested in that at all. I'd rather them get together right at the start, have issues, figure out like what needs to happen for their relationship to work. I think I just saw so many good reviews and like booktubers saying they really enjoyed this book, and it's super cute. I love the story, I love the idea of it, and it's just not one for me. Dragged out way too much. I just got so bored and fed up with it. I'm not going to say anything else about it. I'm going to rate this like a 2.5 out of 5. Josh had to choose between 4 books for the best cover, which one he liked the most, and he picked Heartbones because you mentioned in the shop you like this cover. So I knew what the answer was going to be. He pretty much told me straight away, so I didn't film him choosing that. I did just start reading this book, and I have finished it. It starts off slow with them getting to know each other. It is set on the beach. It's very interesting reading about a girl that has tried to take care of herself from such a young age. Her dynamics with her family, how she treats people, how she presumes everyone is just not very nice. Straight away she thinks her sister is what she calls a locker room girl, which is not a very nice girl, and in fact her stepsister, who she didn't know she had, gave up one of the nicest rooms in the house because she thought her sister would like it, and they do become really close. there's a lot of like sad things that happen. The boy that she hangs around with, he's got a lot of secrets, and to start with you start kind of wondering what they are, why he's being a bit shady. And it's odd because it feels like a light-hearted book, yet there are quite deep things that happen in this book. I did really enjoy it. I almost cried. I want to say so much more about what happens. Colleen Hoover's writing, I think, is just so good. And it was hard because when you read about young love, like 19 to me feels like it's still a teenager, it's teenage romance. But for what she's been through and the type of person she is, I feel like it could be deeper than that. Part of me just thinks back to when I was young, and you think that you're in love when you're actually not. So I find it hard to connect in that aspect. But when you're someone that has grown up with nothing and had to look after yourself, you may have aged that little bit faster maybe, but you could also be naive because you haven't had life experiences. So for that part, I just find it a bit difficult to really accept the fact that she was in love at 19. And that part I find hard. The rest of it, I absolutely loved. She finds a dog. She finds a dog on the beach and these guys are picking on it, and it was heartbreaking to read this part. They were like, this dog looks like he's like skin and bones because it hasn't been like fed, and these guys pick on it, like trying to show it, you could have this burger, and then taking it off of him. And she actually snatches the burger off these guys and gives it to the dog, and the dog then follows her. She ends up keeping the dog. And you know what, for that part of the book I was just like, please keep the dog, please keep the dog. And I was reading through it and I was like, the dog better be like mentioned again. Also, the dog's called PJ.
That's funny.
My brother's also called PJ, but the dog is actually, she actually names the dog Pepper Jack Cheese and calls him PJ for short. Are you going back downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. You're supposed to guess what I rated it.
8.5.
No, out of 5.
Oh, 5. Oh. 4.
4.5. I gave this 4.5. I felt like 4 was too low for how much I enjoyed it, but 5 was too high because I still had that like niggling feeling that it wasn't as, I didn't connect with it as much as I could have. Which one do you want me to start with? You're not allowed to see the back, remember?
Yeah. This one.
Okay, so first of all, we've got Christina Lauren's book called The Soulmate Equation. So the soulmate equation is about somebody that wants to carry on dating, and they're a bit, it's like they've come to the point where it's like, I'm gonna go for this, I don't know if it's an online thing, but it's like a science experiment where they take things about you, like, I don't know whether it's all like biology or chemistry as well, but it's things about you. They put you into this system and try and find your soulmate.
Right.
Through like this system that could supposedly find your perfect match.
Okay.
So that's the soulmate equation. What's next?
We're just going order.
Okay. It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. So It Ends With Us is the film that Blake Lively's going to star in.
Right.
So this is the prequel, so this is before that. When she was younger, she helped out a boy in her school that had become homeless. He was staying in a house that had been abandoned next to her.
Okay.
And he is made fun of because he smells, like he doesn't shower, he's got no food, and he's always cold. And I believe this is their story from when they were kids up until where they are now. So It Ends With Us was the first one. However, this is the second one, but is about how things started.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then another Christina Lauren, and this is called Something Wilder. This is a bit of like, so the female character, her dad is a bit like Indiana Jones.
Right.
So, you know, you go and exploring things, finding whatever it is, artifacts. And she is not interested in like romance. She just wants to carry on her father's work. Whereas the guy that is also on this like case with her, or whatever it's called, exhibition, I don't know what they call them, he is wanting to be with her, but she's not interested right now because she's on this journey of finding artifacts.
Okay.
Which one are we going to read?
This one.
Something Wilder.
Yeah.
I knew you'd go for this one. I knew it.
Which
So-
one did you want to read?
That one.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to read the back. Lily has never forgotten the man that got away, but she certainly hasn't forgiven him either. As the daughter of a notorious treasure hunter, Lily makes ends meet using her father's coveted hand-drawn maps, guiding tourists and fake treasure hunts through the canyons of Utah. When the man she once loved walks back into her life, Lily can't believe her eyes. Frankly, she'd like to take him out into the wilderness and leave him there. And then, so it's Lily and Leo. Like,
Okay.
why have they done that though?
Double L.
But then again, we're Jess and Josh.
Yeah.
So Leo wants nothing more than to reconnect with his first and only love. Unfortunately, Lily is all business. It's never going to happen. But when the trip goes horribly and hilariously wrong, the group wonders if maybe the legend of the hidden treasure wasn't a gimmick after all. Alone under the stars, Leo and Lily must decide whether they'll risk their lives and their hearts on the adventure of a lifetime.
Yeah, that's good.
I knew you'd pick this one. I almost wanted to talk it down a bit. I shaved my legs. Which is one of the first things I've done because today is a day off finally. And me and Josh have decided we're going to have a beach day. We're going to just make some sandwiches. We've got some grapes. We're going to have some ice cream at the beach and just go and have like a day date, a really chill time. It's a bit overcast today. It's still super warm, but I'm still happy to go with there being a bit more of a breeze. I think it'd be so nice. I'm absolutely boiling. It's been so hot in the UK at the moment, well, specifically in Wales where I am, but it's just been so super warm. Gonna get myself a drink. So Josh is currently working this morning and then he's gonna come home and we're gonna get ready for the beach. I thought in this video, I know we're doing kind of my boyfriend picks what I read. I thought we'd include a bit of our beach day, just a few clips in this video. I also picked up yesterday Lipton, so this is peach flavoured iced tea, which I love. There's a big bottle. I haven't seen a big bottle like this of iced tea for a while, and this was on offer in Tesco. So we're going to pour ourselves some of this and possibly sit back in bed for a little bit. And oh no, what's happened to my ice cubes? Look at this. Oh no, my poor ice cube. Sit back in bed and read for an hour or so before I have to get ready or do anything. So I've got ice in Josh's Moana cup. I love like iced tea and iced coffee at the moment. It's like the only two things I actually want to drink. I am currently sat back in bed. I got back in bed to read like a little while ago. It is 10 to 12. Josh should be home within the next like half hour or so. He has informed me that it's just started raining. I mean, I'm looking out the window now and I can't see much rain. So I don't know if our beach day is going to go ahead. I have gotten to page 67. So I've read a really good amount this morning. Really started getting into this book. it dives straight into the story. There's not much of a build up, which I really like. You really get into kind of the ranch, the cowboys, the like adventure part of this book straight away. Doesn't feel like I'm reading a romance book. It's very strange to think of this as being a romance, and I don't know how much romance is going to be in it. It is a second chance romance. It's been 10 years since they've seen each other, and you do get to find out quite quickly why it's been so long since they've seen each other, which I really liked. I did like that I didn't have to wait to find out like why things ended. Like the very first chapter is kind of like a prologue. It's kind of like them being all in love like 10 years ago and really happy for their future, really excited, and then you go on to kind of where they are now in their lives. It's gotten to the part, I think it was like maybe 50 pages in when they've reunited, and I like that it's just got straight into it. There's no build up of them trying to find each other, or not trying to find each other, but seeing each other again. It's also the other characters, like Leo's friends. I find that character development straight away has been really good. Like one of his friends called Walter, I already love him. It helps as well, he's quite shy, he's quite innocent, and he's Gemini. Josh is also a Gemini, so I've got a soft spot for Walter already. There's going to be horses in this. Well, there's already horses in this, and Josh loves horses, so he's going to be really happy with that already. I've really got stuck in, really enjoying. So this is third person writing, and it's dual POVs. So you get chapters of Lily, chapters of Leo in third person. I also am a bit oblivious, did not realise Christina Lauren is a dual author, so it's Christina and Lauren, not Christina Lauren, even though that's how it's written. I did not realise this. I always thought that was just their name. Maybe I did know that and I just forgot. I'm not sure. So this author also wrote The Unhoneymooners, which has got this like permanent sticker. Not a fan of permanent stickers. I can't remember what I rated The Unhoneymooners. I know I didn't absolutely love it. It was still good. It was a good book. I did enjoy it. I think it was possibly like a 3.5, something like that. I have got high hopes for this one, and I do love Christina Lauren's writing, so I am really enjoying this. I'm looking forward to reading more, and I have also been told that there are some real like surprises, some real like twists and turns throughout this book, so really looking forward to finding out what they are. And there is a bit of a treasure hunt involved, and I am really excited to find out if they actually find any treasure as well. So enjoying this. This is a good choice of Josh's so far. I mean, we're not even like halfway yet, but that is a decent update for now. I'm going to maybe watch some YouTube or read a bit more, not sure yet, waiting for Josh to get home, and then we decide how rainy it's going to be and if we still do a beach day.
Traffic lights and parking lots are the only places that we stop. Haven't had a full night's sleep, a little over a week. We'd love to see the country, take time to stay a while. We gotta make it to the show, and that's the way it goes when you're on the road. We're on the road. Lights come up, people chant our names. A sudden rush comes to us when we take the stage. Stomp our feet, clap our hands. Gotta get the rhythm going. Now they're singing with the band, singing oh. Singing oh.
yesterday we brought this guy home with us. Josh really wanted us to get a another magnet like this, like the Beach Bum, but a Mumbles one. So we went to Mumbles in Swansea. So we got this little crab. I think Josh likes the wobbly magnets. We just want to cover our fridge in magnets full of places we've been. I did get this one from Florida many years ago. This one is from my dad for my birthday one year, and I have no idea where this one is from, but look how old it is. And then this one again from Florida. This is when I first went to Florida, when I was like 13 or something, like many years ago. But ideally we want lots of like holiday magnets, so these are fun. So every time we go away we just want to add to the fridge. I'm just checking in with a little book update. So we are currently reading Something Wilder by Christina Lauren, and I am up to page 211. So I am over the halfway mark of this book. So we are getting somewhere. I'm really struggling, not with the story. Like, thing is, it's a very good story. It's very action-packed and a lot of adventure involved in it, but it's just not something that interests me. It's like, I knew it was going to be a bit like Indiana Jones type of story. So, sorry, Josh is upstairs chatting with his friends online and he's very loud. So, anyway, I thought it was going to be straight into like the Indiana Jones type of story where she's already like exploring, looking for treasure, that type of thing. But it's not like that. So she's kind of set up this like fake treasure hunt. It's kind of like people pay her to take them on this little tour to like do puzzles and archery and things, and to like look for treasure at the end, but she's set it all up. However, we get to a part in this story where now they have realised that her father has left her a journal, which he didn't actually leave the journal for her, but it ended up being in her possession, and it has possibly left where actual treasure is buried. So it goes from like showing these 4 guys around this kind of like pretend kind of let's be Indiana Jones kind of adventure type thing. They've got the horses, everything set up for them, and then amongst this it then turns into an actual, oh my gosh, are we gonna find real treasure? Have we actually got like the right tools to do this? There are some plot twists that are really interesting, and kind of getting to the 200-page mark, we're only, maybe it was like just before that, but we're only just getting into the kind of romance of the book now. And I love some of the characters, they're so lovely. Her kind of best friend or like help, like person she works with, she annoyed me a little bit, but I think it's because I'm listening to the audiobook as well, and the accent they put on for her was just a bit irritating. Apart from that, I'm loving the kind of characters, the romance element, things like that. However, I'm just not into the adventure type of books. Like, the plot twists are interesting, but I'm getting a bit bored because I don't really care. Like, I don't read adventure books. I'm not that interested, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to love this. And I mean, I'm still going to carry on. I want to know if they find the treasure. I want to know. I also want to know what's going to happen between Lily and Leo in the romance part of this. Walter is adorable, absolutely love him, but he's just kind of left them from where they are at the moment, which has made me a little bit sad. It is good. It is a good book, and I'm still enjoying it, and it will probably still get a decent rating because it is good. I think it's just not for me. I'm not like just adventure or like action type of books. Like, I read Alex Rider, which is a kind of spy action type book, and that was like more young adult, which I really liked. I think I'm just picky with my like action and adventure and like fantasy. Those kind of books I feel like I'm just picky with, and this just isn't hitting it as hard as I wanted it to. I will update you more. Probably the next update will probably be once I finish this book, and we'll do final thoughts, and then we will wrap up from there. So I believe that 90% of the clips in this video I've been in some sort of pajama. I think you're gonna have to get used to the fact that I wear loungewear pajamas quite a lot if you stick around to watch my videos. So I'm just here to wrap this video up. I did finish Something Wilder by Christina Lauren, and I am giving this a 3-star. I do believe it is a very good book, which is why I'm giving it 3-star, because it's well written, it's entertaining, and the romance development is really good, the storyline, the adventure, the characters. However, it's just not a book for me. It's a bit similar with When in Rome in the aspect that I did get bored for some of it. I wasn't entertained enough. I'm just not one for adventure books. This started out quite strong and I was enjoying it to start with. Again, the same as When in Rome. However, it just drifted off and started to drag a little bit, and I just wasn't interested. So I think this is still like worth a 3-star. It is still a good book. It's just, I do remember The Unhoneymooners after I've been thinking about it, and The Unhoneymooners I would say was possibly a 3.5. It was slightly better than this one. I did enjoy it a lot more than I enjoyed this book, so I would rate that Unhoneymooners better than this. It's still, like I said, it's still good, and I think 3-star is still pretty decent rating for a good book. It just means that I didn't absolutely love it. It's just not one for me. So we've had a 2.5, a 3-star, and a 4.5 in this video, which has been interesting because a lot of my books recently I have absolutely loved, and I suppose it was going to get to a point where I did pick up some books that weren't my absolute favourite. I think I just really wanted to love them all. I have also started reading It Starts With Us, which is why the cover is off, but I'm not going to update you in this video because this video is long enough. I will let you know how far through it I am though. No, I won't, because it's not next to me. I thought it was. I've left it in the bedroom. I'm past the 100-page mark, and I was completely wrong when I told Josh it was a prequel. It's not a prequel at all. It carries on from the moment the first book ends, so it is just a second book. It dives straight into it. I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm sure I will talk about it in another video, so please stay tuned if you want to hear my thoughts, and have a super duper good one. Bye.